This is Adventure for Life. I'm Joel, and this is day 9 of the Grenadier 15,000 mile cross-country trek. I am in White Sands National Park, and it is in New Mexico, just outside of Alamogordo, which is where I stayed last night. So I'm gonna probably go over there and go into the visitor center real quick, and then if you can see that sign right there next to the stop sign, it says Dune Area. Now, I've been here one time before, and if you see in the distance, you can see some white sand, and my memory of being here before is that White Sands National Park is a bunch of white sand. There are some mountains in the distance and whatnot, and it's pretty. So anyway, I don't expect to be here very long. I'm going to do whatever the drive is, and then see a little white sand, and then move on. I saw a sign when I was driving up, not the one I showed you earlier, but a different sign that said White Sands National Monument, and here I am right in front of the visitor center, and this is White Sands National Monument. So maybe it was a national monument at one time and then became a national park, I don't know. Anyway, even though this place opens at 7, the visitor center is not open, and if you look at the board over here, there's a board right there that says today's activities, and there's 3 of them: the Dunes Drive, the Park Movie, and the Sunset Stroll, which is canceled. So I think I was correct. White Sands has white sand, and so I'll show you some in a second. So there's the first view of the dunes. We'll try to zoom in on that, and they are not all that white. Supposedly they're going to get wider in a moment, and so hopefully I'll see that. The entry fee, by the way, was $25, but there was I have this park pass, so I wasn't going to pay anyway. But just like there was nobody at the visitor center, there was nobody at the entry fee station, so whoever's coming in is coming in for free. There are mountains in the distance, if you can see them. I'll do a quick 360 here. Car just went by. Here comes another car. But if you want to come to a national park where it's not crowded, this would be the one. Again, I think there's 3 cars in here and 2 park rangers, so not very busy at the moment. By the way, the temperature is just fabulous. It's 75 degrees and dry, and so at least from my standpoint, you couldn't ask for much better. Okay, so we're coming into the heart of the White Sands area. Again, the sand back there was dingy white, and this is getting real. You can see right there beside the road, and that back there, this is white. I don't think they're going to let me drive the Grenadier out there across that. Maybe there'll be some section. If you see there along the side, you could actually rent or be given a loaner sled, and so people go up there and sled down the sides of this sand. As I remember, when I was here before, I had my kids with me, and they were young, and did a little sand slide. Anyway, very interesting. I read one of the signs, and it said that this was basically formed. This was a low spot on the earth, and so with when it does rain and sand's created, it just washes to here and just stays. So that's how White Sands got created. Okay, so I'm actually driving on the sand now. So it's obviously been packed down pretty hard in some spots, but this is, it's just a bunch of white sand, but it's immense. This is really, really a large area, and that is a lot of white sand. I can just imagine what the early settlers or people that discovered this place thought when they got to it. You know, did they think they were at the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, or what did they think? But anyway, this is interesting. I'm doing little washboards here, as you can see on the road, and a little bit of vibration, but all in all good. There were some walking trails, and I suspect that when you get on a walking trail, you see white sand. But, you know, I'll probably get out in a minute when I have the chance and do a little, a short walk or whatever. Again, there's mountains in the distance and whatnot. So this really is a beautiful, beautiful area. I don't remember it being this large when I came here before, and it is, you know, it's immense. So we'll take a quick walk out onto the sand. Obviously, I would love for this picture of the Grenadier to be somewhere on some safari in Africa, but this is really, it really is cool. Again, it's white sand, so that's what you're seeing, but it's pretty. I don't imagine you're going to find any other place like this in the world. Obviously a white sand beach, but there is no water around here. View of the sun coming up. I just left the car running because there's no one out here. Okay, so there's the Grenadier, and I'm going to do a quick 360. It is white sand as far as you can see. Took my shoes off, doing a little white sand, barefoot walking. Yeah, so yeah, it's just white sand, but there's a bunch of it. So it's not like it's one dune. This really is just an absolutely immense area, and very pretty to see. This isn't any big deal, but you can see there where people have been walking all over the place. And that sand is all soft because it's been kind of churned up, but you get down into these spots where there's very few people have walked, and it is hard as a rock. It's just like concrete. To give you another view, there's the Grenadier with a big sand dune in the background. You can tell people been walking up and down this particular dune, so I'll shoot it from up there. Here's another good view of the immensity of this thing. And I just climbed to the top of this mound that I took the picture of, slightly out of breath, because every step you take, you go slide halfway back down. There's the requisite crow, I guess. Yeah, this is really just amazing. All right, so I'm out again in the middle of white sand, and I can turn around as fast as I want to because it's all white sand. Anyhow, I'm going to climb this just for fun, so you can see how difficult this is. I'm going to attempt to climb this hill, and wow, it is sometimes your foot goes down as far. Wow. So that's probably only, you see the Grenadier down there. There's where I walk. I'm probably 20, 25 feet up in the air. And there's a lady over there with her kid sledding on the sand. But anyway, and there's little sled marks all over out there, so people have done a lot of work. Man, it would be fun to drive the Grenadier out across that. Unfortunately, that is not allowed. Okay, now I'm gonna okay, there's up and down the mound. Okay, so there's this big parking lot here, and I couldn't make the turn, so I accidentally got off the trail and thought I would show you that just real quick. By the way, there have been multiple washboards that I've driven down, and the Grenadier's gone across them just fine, and there is no rattling. Once I put that towel in the table in the back, even with the shovel up there, even with the gas tanks and the water tanks, and even with the high lift jack, there is no rattling whatsoever. So that's obviously a good thing. Also, for those of y'all that were concerned, when I backed down off of that, sand embankment earlier, there was zero evidence that anything had ever been there. In fact, when I ran up that hill and was filming, my sandals got pulled off my feet by the sand, and it took me about 2 minutes to find one of them, because it got, covered in the sand very quickly. So anyway, again, don't get concerned, because the sand covered over my tracks, and what little tracks there might have been left, the wind will handle today. All right. If you can hear the background music, I thought I'd include a little appropriate background music for being out on safari in the sands. All right, I'm headed out. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of washboard here, just so you can experience it from inside the car. I mean, those aren't big, but they are, it's not really rattling things, but you can certainly feel the bumps. So I'm going to end the day, or not the day, but end White Sands where we started. I was in there about an hour, which is about, what it took to do all the things that I did. You could have done a picnic. They had some really nice picnic areas and things like that in there, but basically it's a bunch of white sand. It depends on how much time you want to spend looking at and walking on white sand. By the way, the fee booth was open when I came out, and if you look over there, there are some cars in the parking lot, and there were a lot of cars. A lot is too strong of a word. There were several cars that were coming in when I was leaving. So it opens at 7. That's a good time to come, and I'll leave you with some of the Middle Eastern-ish music that I've been listening to while I've been driving through the sand.